Right, I'd like to have a bit of fun. Here's my book, as you all know, How to Future-Proof Yourself. And I'm just going to pick randomly a page and talk about it. Don't know what's going to come up. Bit of a test for me. Thinking on my feet, I was going to say, but obviously I'm sat down. So here goes. Don't know what's going to come up. So I'll just flick through the pages and see what subject is, and we'll have a little discussion about it. So here goes. Alright, so I've come up with page 59, and it's all about anticipating the change in the working environment. Now, this is actually really important, because what changes have we sort of experienced in recent years? If you're of a certain age, this may be quite a good exercise. Think about how you now access the news compared to 10-15 years ago. 10-15 years ago, we used to have this thing called newspapers, and we used to watch the 6 o'clock news or the 9 o'clock news. Most of them are now 10 o'clock newses, or other news programmes, or perhaps on the radio. Catch the news at 1 o'clock on the radio, especially Radio 4. Always good. So how do we catch it now? Well, obviously it's on our devices. We are looking at Sky News, we're looking at the BBC News, we're looking at other apps, and also for most of us, news is flashing up constantly. So that's the news. What else has changed immensely? How we book a holiday. Oh, do you remember you used to go to travel agents and look through brochures and decide where you want to go and look at the pictures? Now obviously that's all totally done online now, and you can book your Airbnb holiday straight off, and your flights, press of a button and off we go. So that's changed immensely. How we meet with our friends. We used to make arrangements, phone people up and say, I'll be there at 7 o'clock, and we were there at 7 o'clock. Not anymore. We're constantly texting and WhatsApping. Oh, I'm going to be late. Sorry, I can't make it at the last minute. Oh, this has happened, that's happened. We seem to have so many more disasters. Previously you just turned up, didn't you, and just got on with it. Unless you were sort of getting dumped by your girlfriends, which was always quite interesting, because you'd turn up at the phone box, perhaps on the common, or perhaps down the high street or whatever, turn up at a certain phone box, and you'd say you'd meet there, and you'd sort of look at your watch, 7 o'clock, where are they? 7:05, where are they? 7:10, I've been dumped. And I'm sure that's never happened to us. Only happened to me a couple of occasions, but such is life. I'm sure I'll get over it. So yeah, quite a few different changes. One that I always remember is insurance, buying your car insurance, having to go to insurance brokers. Well, those days are long gone. So yeah, making sure that we're keeping up to date with what's happening in our environment. This is really important in terms of your own business. So who owns the business? Is it going to be sold? Is someone else going to come in and buy it? What are they going to be looking for? If you're working in a startup, what's the motives of the senior management team? Is it to develop the business and grow? I've been working with a startup business over a number of years, and it's amazing how the whole culture has changed, and a lot of people have decided that culture's not for them anymore. So it's worth thinking about, what would happen if the business did get sold? How would I cope with that, and how would I continue to add value? Also the management, is that likely to change? What about if someone else retired or moved on and someone else came in? How would I deal with that? And I think that's really quite important, just to think about the politics within the business as well as the technology. Obviously there's huge differences in technology, which we need to be mindful of, and start to think, what is my job going to look like in a year's time, 18 months time, 2 years, 3 years? And am I aware of the technology? Is my company likely to move? And I've got a couple of customers that they were based in High Wycombe, and now they've moved to Surrey, and for some of those people that's unacceptable journeys for them, because they've got other commitments in life. So being aware of what's happening around you in your actual business is really quite important. And when you are having your reviews, just to sit down and reflect, what are the things that I can control and what things I can't control in the business, and what do I need to be aware of? And thinking about how do I adapt and deal with those. So that's internally. Obviously in your market, well, I've just given those examples. What's happening in your market? And there again, sometimes we can have our head in the sands and not be aware of what's happening around us. New technologies, new ways of working, perhaps customers want things in different ways. Things like Brexit and other political situations that can change our markets immensely. How are we going to adapt? And are we aware of them? There again, what things can I control and be aware of and develop skills, and what things do I just need to be aware of, accept and think, okay, what's my plan B? Well, let's have a plan A first. What's my plan A? What's my plan B? And what's my plan C? Sometimes we may have to go up to plan D, just to think about what's happening. So where can you find this information? Well, I'm going to come back to networking, aren't I? And starting to think, do you have good people with their fingers on the pulse? Do you read good articles about what's happening in your business? In your business and its market? And sometimes we think, I haven't got time to read that. I'm not sure about that. No, you do. Perhaps we do need to invest in conferences. I haven't got time to go for a conference for a day and listen to people present about all these ideologies and what's going to happen. Yes, you do. Because if you don't go and do it and find out what's happening and talk to other people and about how they see things, who's going to do it for you? And I think it is fair to say that sometimes in business, we sometimes see people that seem to sort of, their careers seem to develop a lot better. And that is because they're very good at looking at the bigger picture. Those hard-working, conscientious people like ourselves who are obviously watching this, sometimes we can get too bogged down on the day-to-day job, what needs to be done, what's happening in the actual day, the task-orientated ones of us. But other people, they're very good at sort of finding out what else is happening, the bigger picture. Sometimes we don't actually feel that they're pulling their weight in the business, but they always know what's going on, and therefore they can always make decisions. And let's face it, if you spend 5, 6, 7, 10 years doing a job brilliantly well, and then things change, and you're not aware of it, and you're not up to speed with what's happening in your market and your company, sometimes, you can suffer. There's lots of examples of that, of people getting the tap on the shoulder, thinking perhaps they may get the next step up, but it's the next step out. And they didn't see it coming. And really, we need to be doing that. It's our professional responsibility. So that's that page. I'm going to do lots of other these videos over the next few weeks, just going into the book and picking a topic off random and talking about it. But obviously, if there's any questions and you'd like me to talk on those subjects, please do so, and I'll cover a few of those in next few weeks, because a few people have been in contact about how do I deal with this, how do I deal with that. One person even nicely said after reading my book, which was really nice of them to say, if I'd have read this 15 years ago, their life would have been a lot better. They'd have made a lot more choices, they'd have taken a lot more control, and they've had a bit of a tough time recently. It's because they just didn't see things coming. They didn't create that thinking time and that networking time. So please search around, look at all the other videos, but we're going to be doing lots more of these. Just quick tap into the book, come up with a subject, and that's the beauty about the book, is that you can literally pick it up, put it down. It's not a read that you have to sort of follow through, although a lot of people have said once they get into it they can't put it down, but a lot of them just, people have said it's nice just to dip in and dip out, look at a subject matter and think, I need to focus on that. So thanks for that. Speak to you soon, next week.